Rob and Slim Show. We are back with Tucker Booth.
Yes, yes. What's going on, fellas?
Tucker, how you
Happy to
doing,
be
brother?
back in the mix.
You are.
How
You
I'm
are.
doing, man.
What have you been up to?
Living the teacher dream out here, man. Teaching kids music. Trying to stay out the LA rain. Every time I call you, it's dumping rain in LA. I swear it's been the rain apocalypse this year in LA, man.
We bring it.
Oh, what's going on
It was a drought before Rob and Slim came.
That's it. Rob and Slim make it rain in LA. I'll tell you what.
I love it.
Boy, thanks, guys. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, what's going on over there, man? Is it freezing and snowing and stuff?
It's not. We actually, like, just the other day, like 9 inches of snow fell everywhere except here. We had rain. But it is like 20 degrees now. But yeah, like up north, even like my kids in West Virginia had so much snow they didn't have school. But we got rain. We got drizzle.
You guys are so wet down there, you evaporate the snow.
We're so salty.
Wet down there,
We're
dude.
so salty and wet. We're moist.
Man, wetter than some Atlantic City can girls, man. Seriously.
Oh, we had since you last were on, Tucker, we had RJ Mitty on, who was from Breaking Bad, and he remembered you.
How'd that go, man? You guys were telling me you had him on. How was he, man?
He was great,
awesome.
and I mentioned you, and he knew who you were. It was just like, wow, he's such a cool dude.
I'm about to say when the MS kid from Breaking Bad knows who you are, you have made it, man.
Yes.
You've made it in the biz. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. And what have you been up
Sorry,
to?
RJ. I don't mean to use your disease as a joke. That was not the point of that. Jeez.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. You've been coaching, right, Tucker? You coach. Is it hockey?
Oh no, I wish it was hockey, man, because then I could just straight haul off and punch somebody for all their mouths in this league, man. I swear it's not the children, like it's 3rd and 4th grade kids, just so you understand like the ages here. We're talking 9 and 10-year-old kids, right? It's basketball.
Oh, basketball.
But
Okay.
You're not really contending so much with the kids and their opponents. You're contending with all the grown-up adolescents that are living vicariously through these children.
All the
and the
dads.
coaches.
Yes.
It is just insane. And the league itself is just insanely idiotic, too. And I knew this coming in. I had assisted in past seasons when my son was playing in the leagues. And I've done basketball, baseball, even helped out with golf. My son's a super talented little sports dude. But even golf, man, these people are nuts. They're all crazy. Everyone is these hyper-competitive psychopath parents in these leagues. And I tried to say no, like they were pushing me. They kept calling me going, will you please coach? We need another head coach. Will you please coach? I'm like, I'm a musician. I don't work like a real job. I'm always on call waiting for my next thing. You know, I don't want to leave these kids in a position on a weekend where I get picked up to do work and I can't be there to coach. Oh, no. We need you. We really need you. I mean, these people laid on me so hard, man.
Wow.
So finally I agreed.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was so hard. It was so much harder. You think, oh, they're just kids. All you got to do is sit there and, shout a few plays at them and
Good job.
give them a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Every other coach out there is Bobby Knight and Mike Krzyzewski, and I'm sitting there feeling like I'm Walter Matthau in the Bad News Bears or something, man. I swear, I'm just out of my depth from week one. There's so many rules, too. That's the other thing that blows my mind is we're talking about 9 and 10-year-olds here.
Yeah.
And the handbook of rules for these children is probably 10, 15 pages long, and you're supposed to study it before the season starts. And it's the most minutia detailed. If you play a child for one quarter, but you don't play them for the whole quarter, then you have to play every other child for 10 minutes in the next quarter. And if you don't do that, and I'm seriously having league officials coming over to me during games, like from the first game, screaming at me, like, you're not subbing them right. You're not subbing them right. And I'm like, dear God, I thought I could just, plug them in where I saw fit and they run around in circles. And
dude, I'm a musician. Like, what do you
realize you like this.
Yeah. Oh my God, that sounds tedious.
But anyways, the hardest part is that we had a lot of talented. We had probably like 3 or 4 talented kids, and then we had like about 4 really not talented kids.
You had like three
So
of
it was
us.
just real-
And an extra.
Right.
You had an extra one of us.
At that age, you always got it like that, don't you? I mean, you're lucky if you got 3 talented kids. But, I mean, it was probably like 3 talented and 5 kids with cinder blocks for hands. You know, that's pretty much what I had to work with.
Yeah.
So we only won 3 out of 15 games this year.
That's
And,
a good
and being
percentage.
as hyper competitive as I am,
good
while
with
still
that.
trying to maintain this whole character development, overarching thing going on here, that was a pretty bitter pill to swallow, man. Especially when I'm losing to all of these just meathead a-hole grown-ups.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know how it feels. It's like, it's one thing if you're losing to nice guys that are obviously like genuine and sweet and kind and all this. It's another thing when you're losing to these guys that are puffing their chest out.
Yeah,
I mean, like for instance,
Yeah.
for instance, one game we're playing here, I look over at the coach of the other team, and he's this fat, bearded guy, this kind of swarthy, fat, bearded guy. And I look over at him in the first quarter, and I kind of give him like a half smirk smile, and he's like staring the punch me in the face
Yeah.
right deep into my eyes.
That's what
Like he's trying to have a stare down.
I would think it would
You know what
be
I'm saying?
like.
And I'm looking at him like, seriously? God, man, why don't you stare down a freaking Slim Fast, man? Don't stare me down. Seriously, dude.
Yes.
God.
God damn.
Anyways, so
Yeah.
you feel me? It was a humbling experience. I have to say, as far as just coaching anecdotes go, I know I haven't talked to you guys since the Super Bowl. And my Rams, my beloved Rams, were in the Super Bowl. And, you know, I've been rooting Rams ever since they moved to St. Louis when I was 10. So I've been a long-suffering Rams fan, no less. You know, not many years of success in the midst of all their trash. So we get to the Super Bowl. We lose to the Patriots in a close one, but we lose. All these kids come to practice the day after, and they're just devastated, not just for themselves because they're all Rams fans too, but they're devastated for me because they know how much
Yeah.
I'm bleeding for this team. And they're like, Coach, what happened? What happened? And it's practice is over, and I'm trying to give them the like final pep talk about the next game, and all these hands go up, and I'm like, yeah, you. And he's like, can we talk more about the Super Bowl? I'm like, next question. What do you got? And they're like, so, you know, as far as the Super Bowl goes, I'm like, does anybody here have a question besides the Super Bowl? All the hands go down. I'm like, all right, fine. What do you want to know? The kids go, why did they lose? And more importantly, Tucker, why do you hate the Patriots so much? And before I even realized, boys, what's coming out of my mouth, I'm like, well, they're cheaters. And these 9 and 10-year-olds are like, how? How did they cheat? And I'm like, well, Julian Edelman's on steroids. And they're like, what? And I'm like, they're like, what is steroids? And I'm like, oh, dear God, what have I done?
Now your
Next thing
whole
I know,
team
I'm
is
like,
on
I'm explaining
steroids.
to these kids how we piss dirty, and they're like, how do you ingest steroids? And I'm like, well, you know, you can take it through a needle, you know, you can probably like, you know, grind up some picograms like Bones Jones and put them in a smoothie. I don't know, there's lots of ways. And they're like, how do they find it? And I'm like, well, it's in your pee. And they're like, it comes out of your penis? And I'm like, oh, dear God.
Wow, yeah.
I'm getting parents calling me after the end of the practice. I have parents call me. One of them's a cop. He's like, we had a dinner conversation about steroids, and our son said that Julian Edelman was going to be stripped of his Super Bowl MVP title. Did you tell him this? And I'm like, oh no.
So you're supposed to tell the kids they won fair and
I
square.
did a little humble pie.
Yeah. They
It
worked
was a good
hard.
year. It was a great year. We finished dead last. I taught these kids how to take steroids, and, you know, I hope they don't. So that's, you know, pretty much all I can say. about that.
I prefaced it with that. Like, don't ever do this. But, oh, my God. I had a friend. I was in, like, my 20s, and this dude was like, don't you want to do steroids? And I'm like, no. And he goes, why? You could look good at the beach. And I'm like, I don't go to the beach, dude. And I come to find out later, mutual friends of ours, like, that's how he approached every one of us. Like, don't you want to look good and get girls at the beach? Don't you want to do steroids? And then one day,
you met the situation when you were 10 years old, man. That's crazy.
he come over to the house. And he's like, yo, Rob, I just beat my dad up. But he's cool with it because I'm on steroids and he knows it. I'm like, what? Your dad's wearing a neck brace. But he's cool with it. Raph. This guy Raph I used to know. Like, wait, yeah, Raph, good job, buddy.
What a badass name.
Trump-colored tan as well. Did he have like a Dunkin'-colored tan?
I think so. I think so, Todd.
I just love that, of course, this guy's name was Raph.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. He's like, yeah, I beat the fuck out of my dad, but he understands because I'm doing steroids. All right,
it's like Rocco. You got to be named Rocco to be doing that many steroids, man.
Yeah. And he was only in high school. It was only for like high school football, dude. And I love that he just wanted to appeal to everybody. Like, so you want to go to the beach and look good? Like, you could be my beach bro.
you know, I totally tried to pull it in that when I totally let the cat out of the bag talk about steroids with the boys. I tried to bring it in, and like make the big character development speech to like save myself. And I go, but here's the bigger thing, guys. I mean, you can win 5 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls, 7 Super Bowls. But if you know that you broke the rules and did it the wrong way, would that mean any more to you than winning no Super Bowls but knowing that you gave it your best and you followed the rules? I'm like, because, more importantly, besides just that steroids are cheating, they can give you cancer and they can kill you. All right, have a great night, guys.
Sweet dreams, buddies. You could lose your limbs. How about that, huh?
Ask Lance Armstrong whether steroids made him a winner.
Ask Lyle Alzado.
Yeah. Barry Bonds is the home run king, and he's got nuts the size of grape nuts. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, take that to the bank, kids.
Yeah.
On a happier note, I don't know if it is, Tucker, what is serial dreaming?
Ooh.
Okay, so I have been roped into this new indie film that you guys had Steve Hamm on your show, correct?
Yes,
the actor
yes.
guy?
Yes.
So he's attached to this too. It is a pretty banging script, I gotta say. The writer of this is kind of a genius dude. He kind of reminds me of a young Tarantino, if I'm gonna compare him to somebody else.
Wow.
Cool.
Really, really raw type stuff. Kind of very vivid, wild, kind of unfiltered type writing style. But this script was sent to me by a guy who had vetted me and found me through Twitter, like you guys did. He knew about my battle rap videos. He knew about some of my comedy, some of my music stuff. And initially he was hitting me up to be the producer of the soundtrack, which I'm still going to do. So he's roped in some names on this soundtrack to you guys. Like, I'm not supposed to let too many cats out of too many bags, but we'll just say this. Names you definitely know from the rock and roll, rap, and hip hop worlds. I mean, these are legendary names, some of them.
Yeah.
What about the Driz?
Yeah, I'm in it.
Well, we're still
No, I'm
in
just
pre-prod,
kidding.
I'm not supposed to name drop, but we'll just say these are legendary names. These are not small names. These are past and present legendary names.
Except my name, because I'm like godlike. I'm way above that, so I wouldn't agree to anything like that.
Oh, no.
Well, Driz, we were going to ask if you wanted to be involved, but we were pretty sure you were too busy. So sorry about that.
He's got a lot of court dates coming up, Tucker. I can't even tell you what for.
That's right. We heard you were going to be in the Smurfs Part 5, so, we thought you might be a little busy.
Yeah, who fuck told you that? Yeah.
Was me, bro.
Jokey Smurf. You gave me a call, man. Sorry.
Steroid Smurf told him.
Rocco Smurf. But so he's telling me all this, and I'm like, all right, I'm down to help, compose and write some original material for the soundtrack and all this. And then as we kept talking, he goes, "Can I send you this script so you can read it and give me any feedback?" And I go, "Sure." And I'm like, "You've had people take a pass at this?" He goes, "Yes, and everybody that takes a pass at it is telling me I'm on the right track, but I'm interested to get your feedback." Cool. Guys, I'm a pretty scrutinous editorial eye. I would have caught anything grammatically that was out of whack. I studied English in college. I was the editor of our college newspaper. I always caught mistakes. Not a single grammatical error, not a single anything out of place. And beyond that, the script itself was engaging and breathtaking from the first page. It's a ride. It's one of the, like I said, kind of reminds me of, if I'm comparing it to another movie, almost like Natural Born Killers if Tarantino had been allowed to direct it instead of Oliver Stone. That's kind of how it reads, like that.
Cool.
It's about 5 different sociopaths that are playing cat and mouse with each other, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's also funny. So a lot like Tarantino, where it's equal parts kind of like insane, but also darkly comedic at the same time.
Nice.
It's both.
Nice.
He's got some cool names attached to it besides just Steve Hamm. Carrie Means, the creator of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and the voice of Frylock.
Yes.
The voice of Frylock.
Yes.
He's in it. That's
awesome.
You just had our
Big fan of Aqua Teens.
I gotta tell you real quick. I gotta interrupt Tucker.
Tucker. Need to know. Shit.
Years ago, I booked Spencer Grammer, who is Kelsey Grammer's daughter, and she also voices Summer Smith on Rick and Morty. And right after we interviewed her, our buddy here, Slamborghini, goes, "Yeah, she was cool, but one day I want to talk to Master Shake. You're not a real radio guy unless you got Master Shake on." And I was like, "Whoa, how's that not good enough for you?" And he was so
seriously. I gotta agree though. As far as like his modern cartoon voices go, you gotta give it up to Dana Snyder, who's Master Shake. That guy is gotta be one of my favorites.
I love that, and I love him on Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. Like, I love that show.
Yeah.
He is cool.
Yeah, Dana Snyder is pretty awesome, comedic guy. But I guess I didn't realize this. Carrie Means isn't just the voice of Frylock. He was the guy that created all of those images, guys. He was the artist that did it all.
I heard they screwed him out. I heard he was homeless for a while.
Really?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And if we want to go a little deeper into the Carrie Means story, because I got to know it a little better from being introduced to him through this, Adult Swim and Cartoon Network straight rape their artists on their guys, in case you didn't know.
No, I didn't.
That dude is proof positive. That dude is proof positive. They screwed him so badly on Aqua Teen Hunger Force that as of now, he gets no residual income from it whatsoever.
I just remember
airs on Cartoon Network all the time.
I saw a fundraiser. He started a GoFundMe just to try to live like he was just like homeless, living on the streets after Aqua Teen Hunger Force was already around for a while.
You know how it goes. It's the music industry story too. They put a big number in front of your face at first.
Yeah.
And you're like busted ass broke artist person, and you're like, great, I'll take the 6-figure deal or whatever now. And you keep thinking you're going to keep getting hooked up, but what they don't tell you is they don't give you any of the publishing, and that includes anytime they want to crank out a poster, a coffee mug,
slippers,
pencil, anything with the imagery on it. They're taking 100% profit on that, guys.
Wow.
Even though he's the one that drew those images.
That's why
they crank out a Master Shake toothbrush, and he didn't get a dime of that.
I think that was one of the major reasons Rick and Morty took so long between seasons, because they wanted part of their marketing. Like, that's what took so long between, what is it, season 3 and what's coming as 4?
Season 4, yeah.
Yeah, like, because they just wanted what they were worth.
And I guess Adult Swim is just really stingy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just Adult Swim. I don't want to just throw them under the bus here. It's it's the industry at large.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood. It's all of it. And I got to tell you, I can break an even bigger one for you on here. This is for all my crazy tinfoil hat people out there. I got one for you. My buddy, who is a hyper Christian dude, who also grew up as a child actor in the industry from very young age, and did very well when he was a child. He tells me not only is he fully aware that the industry is utterly into child trafficking and all this R. Kelly crap and all of them, but he told me point blank, Adult Swim, Sony, Warner Brothers, he kept naming names. All of these big cats at the top are in the Church of Satan. You heard me, the Church of Satan.
Dude,
and
I always thought that was like a rumor. I always thought that was like a rumor.
Just look it up online. It's a real thing.
Dude,
it's funny because the Church of Satan, you think it's going to be like, these devil cult people that like are doing ritual sacrifices and all this. No, it's just a bunch of fat, dorky, drunken high dudes that try and ply women and children with drugs and alcohol, pretty much.
Wow.
That's all that they do.
Yeah, I got a buddy, and he's always
Industry
ranting about
boys.
that, and I'm like, yeah, no, you don't know what you're talking about, but I guess he does, dude.
Is this the same buddy
saying,
I'm thinking
Google
of?
it. Google the Church of Satan and start digging.
Hollywood?
I did as soon as my friend
Oh, he
said it.
does
And I gotta
too,
say, my
yeah.
buddy, whose name I'm gonna leave off
Yeah,
because I know he
leave
doesn't
it out.
want any more heat on his name than that.
No.
He was like, "Trust me, Tucker. I've dug deep on this.
One of my close
All of
friends
them,
from
all
like
the top
forever.
execs, Church of Satan.
He told me something too about like
Weird.
musicians using like the language of witches or something, and I'm like, nah, what is the, like? I don't know, but yeah, dude, he tells me some crazy shit, and I'm like,
Well, start noticing when you watch Adult Swim, because we kind of started with them, how many of these shows not only just bag on Christianity and mainstream morality, if you will,
Wow, yeah.
but also how much imagery they have in the background of these shows that is surely satanic, if you
Yeah.
know anything about satanic imagery. And the more I looked into it, it's not even that hard to decipher if you know what you're looking at. I think they're just counting on the fact that most people are like completely zonked out of their gourd at 1 a.m. watching this after 20 bowls or whatever.
I always was.
You know?
I always was.
Yeah, that's how you always watch it, right? It's always
Yeah.
like after you've been in the club all night and you come home with a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You're like drooling on yourself while you're watching it, you know.
I have a one buddy.
But you feel me? I just broke a big story on your show, guys.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the Edward R. Murrow of the Robin Slim Show tonight. I'm just saying.
I have one buddy who I always thought was just full of shit, but he has always told me, he's like, I've studied all these different religions, like I've read Buddhism and I've read this and Christianity and blah blah blah, and he's like, the only one that makes sense is Satanism. I'm like, wow. He said that makes sense because it's really like Satanism is really just about like you just doing what's right for you, apparently.
Well, it kind of, I should say, it masquerades under the guise of no morals, no rules. And that sounds attractive to everybody, right? Especially if you came from a home that was super duper strict or whatnot. Everybody can agree that, that sounds nice. But what it really comes down to is that, of course, they're like, just drink and screw and do whatever you want to do. And that's fine. Again, if that's your lifestyle, that's fine. But, of course, we got to get back to legalistics here. As long as the people that you're doing it with are down with it.
Yes.
You got to have compliant people for this to be what I would call okay.
Yeah, you can't be R. Kelly or Bill Cosby. Like
be Bill
they're the guys
Cosby,
that gave it a
man,
bad
and that's
name.
exactly what the church is doing, man. They're straight pulling some Bill Cosby stuff on these people, man. Here, just have this Jello pudding pop that's laced with horse tranquilizers. Here, come on over. I mean, it's like if you're doing that, I'm sorry, you're off the grid here. I can't sign off on that. Wait, Adult Swim is gonna be serving me with a subpoena by tomorrow. You guys, screwed.
Them and Jello, bro.
Good luck getting on Aqua Teen next year doing voice acting. I think
And
I'm
another
gonna
coaching
sign
job.
my-
Yeah, we're all screwed, Tucker. We'll all be in the same cell block.
So, anyways, back to Serial Dreaming.
Yeah.
I
Satan
definitely
is
think you
not
guys should
involved.
Check out their Twitter page. It's Serial Dreaming on Twitter, and cereal spelled like serial killer, not like bowl of Lucky Charms cereal. So, Serial Dreaming. It's also on IMDb. I'm also up there now on there. But it started as a soundtrack production offer, and as we kept getting to know each other, and as I read this script,
Love it.
I came back to him and said, I'm interested in acting in this. And he said, well, you know what? I was going to ask you, but I didn't want to overreach. I have a role for you. So now I've been cast in this as well. And my buddy, Arash, who is an old friend of mine from back in St. Louis, is now one of the producers that's been brought on. He's an Iranian guy who's tied to all this Iranian oil money.
Ooh.
And it looks like this thing is really going to launch on a completely indie budget. We're going to shoot it over the next 6 months to a year, and this thing's going to be completely self-made by a bunch of artists. And we're still in talks. We're trying to get some like large name to come help anchor this as well. We've kicked around a few names, and I don't want to let the cats out of the bag there too, but these are names. These are like names you would know. So we're working on trying to bring in at least one like big name to help anchor it. But yes, I've been cast to be a bounty hunter in this. So yes, besides all the other stuff, I'm going to be playing a bounty hunter in this who is a repugnant kind of Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men like bounty hunter in this.
Nice.
So there you go.
Nice.
Just
Tucker,
add it to my resume.
we have to wrap this
Gonna
up,
be
dude.
shooting guys with nails in the head, dude.
God damn. It's been amazing as always, Tucker, but we gotta wrap it up, dude.
All right, boys. Well, Driz, I guess you got let off the hook tonight.
Got
I was
lucky,
gonna
bro.
lay some ether bars on your dome, dude, but I guess we'll just have to call it a draw tonight, dude.
Yeah, you want to win anyway. Yeah.
Well, I'll put it like this, man. You win.
Yeah, you
like
put it
Charlie
any way you
Sheen,
want.
dude.
You
You're
put it
winning.
any way you want. You could put it right in a fucking ass and it wouldn't be as good as my rap. Yeah. Fucking rhyme like that.
You're winning like Charlie, dude. Probably winning at least a handful of STDs like him, dude. I'm sure.
He's what would you compare him to? Like a coach dad, like an angry coach dad. The Driz is like on what level? A 1 to 10.
I would say you're like the coach of the Miami Heat of our league, and
Yeah.
that's like no heat. That's like no heat, man. Like he is the opposite of heat. That's like the Miami cold right there.
Yo, all I do when I coach, I just tell those kids they'll never be as good as me. Yeah. I motivate them. You know, you tell them they won't be as good as you. They try to be better than you.
You're actually making sense tonight, Driz. I could have tried that one.
You guys can coach together. I do. You guys can't rap together, but you can coach together. Tucker, you rock, brother.
That would be a sick lineup, guys. Anyway, thanks for having me on, brothers. I always do appreciate it. You know where to find me, Tuckerdale Booth on Twitter, Tuckerdale Booth on Instagram, hashtag TDB Music, hashtag Rappers Don't Golf. Oh, and shout out to Blitzed NFL Radio. My new blog and podcast is going to be through Blitzed NFL Radio. Find them on Twitter as well. Definitely excited to be working with them. New stuff coming out. TDBMZ, breaking all things football in Hollywood and Gossip Lake. Coming soon.
Awesome, brother. Talk soon.
All right. Peace, boys.
Later, bro.
Later.